What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Nothing special this time. Just a new studio layout. A little different setup here on the desk. How you guys doing? Welcome back. This is Living the Dream. This is episode 4. My name is Tony K of Urban Girl Scout Media, as you can see. Today, we got some fun stuff in store. We're going to talk about Magic's newest set, Modern Horizons. I kind of struggled there because I wanted to call it Commander Horizons. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to bring the Crack Pack back for that, specifically for that set. And we have a few other goodies in store. However, I wanted to start here today with something I thought was incredibly funny, and that is random facts. So I went online, found a bunch of just different random facts here that I thought would be fun to start the show with. Just stuff that I thought would maybe put a smile on your faces to start us off here. So here we go. Hot dogs generally are sold to about 80% of the attendance at any given baseball game. The 3 most valuable brand names on earth, Marlboro, Coca-Cola, and Budweiser, in that order. So you got cigarettes, soda, and alcohol. There are 74 lobbyists for every 1 senator in Washington, D.C. Alright, that's kind of funny, you gotta admit. There's more lobbyists per senator than there are states. In 1915, the average annual family income in the United States was $687 a year. Inflation. 70% of house dust is made up of dead skin cells. Enjoy that one when you're cleaning. 37% of people asked claim to know how to use all features on their VCR. Alright, so if you asked this question 30 years ago, I'd be impressed. If you're asking it here today, it's not as impressive. If you, okay, just side rant here, side rant. I got like a couple more I wanted to read. If you could set the VCR's timer, set it to record, have the input correctly, and set to record down for a future date on a channel, then you knew how to use the VCR. Anything else wasn't important. They even made special devices back in the day that you could use to rewind your tapes for you. Bet you guys didn't think I'd go that deep in this episode. Here we go. The typical person goes to the bathroom 6 times a day. Alright, hang on. Let's see if that's true. So you got your morning constitutional. Coffee. If you go 1 or 2 after your coffee. At least 1 more. A mid-afternoon. If you do a pre and a post dinner, and then maybe a pre-bedtime, so yeah, I mean, okay, I can buy that. Ooh, this is a good one. There are more television sets in the United States than there are people in Japan. That is funny. That's a good one for me. If you follow any of our polls that we do on our Facebook page, here's something about cheese. France has the highest per capita consumption of cheese. Goes really good with all that wine. Alright, here we go. Last couple ones for this, and then we're going to be done with these random facts. Got to cross the leg over differently here. In Michigan, it's illegal to place a skunk inside your boss's desk. I will not be working in Michigan. Impotence is grounds for divorce in 24 U.S. states. Oh my god, I hope that's not real. Let me try that again. Impotence is grounds for divorce in 24 U.S. states. Sorry, that I shouldn't laugh as much as I am, but you gotta admit that's kind of funny. Alrighty, so I had 2 more here that I saved. Just gotta find it. So, actually I have 3 more. This one blew my mind. Statistically, the safest age of life is 10 years old. So you don't even have the ability to understand that you are at the safest point in your life when you are at the safest point in your life. Thought that was interesting. And then last 2. 40% of women have hurled footwear at a man. That's, I want to say it's higher than I thought it would be, but honestly that's lower. It's less than half. But that ties into this next one. Approximately each year, 250,000 American husbands are physically attacked and beaten by their wives. So there you go. So yeah, I thought that would be fun. So buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride today. we're going to talk Magic the Gathering's Modern Horizons, just a little bit more than what I've been able to cover in past episodes. I think I've maybe just spent a few seconds on that, and we'll go from there. Hopefully you guys are ready, and let's do it. Welcome in, guys. So, we're going to talk for a little bit to start this episode. I've got 3 statements I'm going to make. 2 of them are meant to be funny, controversial, debatable. The third one was having a few drinks, conversation rolled out, and we realized something. So, I encourage you guys to comment on these below, on the Facebook page or even on Tumblr. Let's see what you got. First off, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Good stuff. Let's get settled here and get centered. So, first off, let's talk about music. Elvis Presley's overrated. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I'm not even going to build up to it. Elvis Presley is overrated. He's not the king of rock. His music doesn't hold up. He was a typecast musician and actor that his movies and music ran together, and he had a lot of charisma and showmanship at the time. Think about who else was doing anything like what he was doing. Nobody. And yes, that is a sign of being a pioneer, but on the same token, his music has not stood to the test of time. He is more famous for being sexual and charismatic on stage than he is for his music. Elvis Presley is overrated. He is not the king of rock. I would actually say it's time to have that discussion again. And, you could throw in a lot of names. If you want to pick someone from the past 30 years, I'd say probably Dave Grohl. If you want to pick someone all time, you may have to talk about someone from the Beatles. I don't know. That's another day, another story. But first point, Elvis Presley, overrated. Next, let's talk about video games. It's going to be a good one. If you take out the Mario-related, Donkey Kong-related, and GoldenEye games from the N64, you will see it's a top-heavy title system, and it's overrated. The Nintendo 64 is not that good. I'm sorry, guys. The Mario games were great. The Donkey Kong-related games were great. Star Fox was good. Wrestling games were good. GoldenEye was good, but if you take out the Mario and Donkey Kong Racing, I thought Diddy Kong Racing was great. And GoldenEye, and you went to make a classic remake system, be really tough. I think it's loved so much because of how open world it was with Mario and them. My chair's falling down, so I'm going to fix that. That's not embarrassing on camera. But either way around it, I believe that the Nintendo 64 is completely overrated. Not a garbage system by any means at all, but it's not the best system of all time. If I had to throw my vote in, it would be the PS2. It's had the longest online servers, I believe, of any system. They just got turned off within the past year or so, if I'm not mistaken. The library is deep for a PlayStation 2 console. You can also throw on the PlayStation 1 games. Something you couldn't do with the N64 is play older generation games, and I understand that's it's a little hard for them to predict that at the time, but that is something to throw in there. It's not just the fact that the system is very top heavy. Doesn't really hold up to playing older games and things like that. And then finally, here's the one that let me give you a little backstory. So as I was making the episode for this week, there was the stories coming out about the immigration centers the way the children were being treated, lack of soap, lack of water, toothbrushes, toothpaste, things like that. Then there was the image of the father with his child who's drowned as they were trying to get into the country. So, first off, before we get into anything funny or anything about the channel, let's just take a side step. Is this really what we want? Like, is this truly what we want right now, is to have that kind of image associated with how hard it is to get into the country? A lot of the people who actually watch this channel, a lot of people who may be opposed to immigration and people coming into the country, have to realize that you are either A, here because you were born, and you were just lucky based on where your parents were when you were born, or B, you came into the country. But I just think that's something we have to really start considering. It's like, is that really what we want? This isn't a political thing. It's been going on for decades. It has nothing to do with the current administration. The problem is that the political landscape is what can you tie to that administration, but this has been going on for decades. The issues with the children, that might be relatively new because of the increase in volume and families trying to come from famine and war-torn countries. But it's something that's been going on for decades, so I'm not defending or attacking the current administration or any administration. This isn't even a political thing. This is about just being a basic human being, because a lot of the people that are probably there working and doing some of these heinous things that we're hearing about have likely been there longer than the Donald Trump administration, or possibly were there before the Obama administration. It's been going on for that long. However, I digress from my point, and let me get one more sip of coffee. Because if you have watched this channel, you know I hate geese. I hate them. They're just, they poop everywhere. They're loud. They block up traffic. And they're just undeservedly entitled creatures. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. Fun fact is that geese, where I live here in the Midwest of America, great state of Illinois, geese have more rights and are protected better than the immigrants trying to come into the country in these immigration centers. You can try and prove me wrong, but I cannot go up and physically harm a goose. I could not do a lot of things to disturb or bother it because it is a protected animal. And on the same token, there are these immigrants that are being, and I'm not even worried about the adults, I'm worried more about the children in this. The children have done nothing wrong and do not deserve any of that treatment. So, geese in Illinois are more protected than and more respected than the immigrants that are trying to get in our country. And if that doesn't ruffle your feathers just a little bit and make you feel foul, this channel ain't for you. Also, pun intended. So let's go ahead and get to some fun stuff, but definitely keep an eye on the news, guys. It's a fucked up time. Oh, hello. You know, when I'm done going to the bathroom, what I like to grab is a root beer. We're going to talk a little bit about the latest Magic the Gathering set. It is called Modern Horizons. It's the first Magic set of its kind where it's just straight to Modern, a more of an Eternal format. Very cool cards in it. Before I go into the cards I want to talk about, first off, I'm going to try and stick with new cards, no reprints. Reprints were okay. I wasn't too impressed with them, but I believe reprints are actually a very tough thing to sell me on personally. The other thing is the abilities in the set. Let's talk about the fact that Cycle, Flashback, Dredge, they are there. So many more, but those are some of my favorite mechanics that have come back. Finally, before I get into this, I'm going to exclude 2 cards from this countdown as they're too easy to talk about. The new Urza and the new First Sliver. Both of them are very cool. Both of them are very powerful. I don't see myself going out and buying them specifically. At least not for now. For pull them in packs, of course, that's great. But that, those are 2 cards to easily pick. So let's talk about a few cards from this set that really just kind of tickle my nipple. Alright, up first is Ayula, Queen Among Bears. We've been needing a bear commander for the longest time. We finally got it. So for this, it's 1 colorless, 1 green for a 2/2 bear. Whenever another bear enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target bear, or target bear you control fights target creature you don't control. Pretty straightforward. You see a lot of the cheap 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop bears with a certain land walk ability or something kind of easy to play off of. Those have been spiking recently. Ayula is going to be a really cool commander card for years to come. Cloud Shredder Sliver. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the first Sliver as that legendary creature, but Cloud Shredder Sliver is actually really cool, and I think it's going to bring Slivers right back to the modern format. 1 white, 1 red. Sliver creatures you control have flying and haste. It is a 1/1, but man, on turn 2, that's some power. Slivers generally run all colors, so that gives you more options on turn 2 than what you had before. I really like it. So next is Collector Opfi, I guess is how you say it. 1 colorless, 1 green. It is a 2/2 creature. It's an Opfi. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. I like it. Pretty straightforward. It's not a legendary creature, so that's even better. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool card, and there's been a little bit of talk online about if it's I think I saw something about like it might be a little inappropriate or not politically correct. It's an Opfi, so what do you want? Okay, so here comes one of my favorite non-goblin creatures of this set, Endling. 2 colorless, 2 black, 3/3 zombie shapeshifter. It has 4 different abilities. 3 of them cost just 1 black. 1 of them is for menace till the end of the turn. 1 of them is death touch. The 3rd one's undying. And then the last one is you can give it a +1/-1 or a -1/+1 till the end of turn. Love this card. Absolutely love it. It's pretty cheap right now as of the making of this video. I think it's like 50 to 75 cents. Love it. Absolutely have bought a couple already. Pulled one out of a pack. Not upset at all. I understand the price value on it right now, but it is versatile, and it's going to go into a lot of decks in a couple of formats, in my opinion. So, Endling, not bad at all. Force of Negation. 2 things. 1, I did pull one of these out of a pack, so I'm super stoked about that. 2 is, this card looks like if Force of Will and Pact of Negation had a child. Force of Negation. For 1 colorless and 2 blue, it is basically a counter target non-creature spell, but you do have that ability where you can exile a card instead of exile a blue card instead of paying its mana cost. And it is a non-creature spell, but it does exile it as well. A lot of different moving parts to this, but you're already seeing a couple weeks in, it's impacting the modern format. Love it. It does help that I pulled one out of a pack, and it's sitting in that mid-30s range, I believe, right now. So, Force of Negation, absolutely legit. Give her a runes. We had Mom, now we got Stepmom. I like it. I think it's a pretty cool card. I'm waiting to see how it impacts the modern format. I mean, we're already seeing that it's in a lot of decks, and it looks like it's going to be really powerful just right out of the gate. So, give her runes. It's a 1 white. Core Cleric, I almost said Cleric Coric, is a 1/2 creature, but it has that tap ability where it gives another creature protection from a color until of your choice until the end of turn. So, just a good card. I mean, just a really good card. I'm trying to think of something negative to say about it, but it's too soon to tell on this one. I was definitely a little concerned when I saw it, thinking about all the ways you could abuse it in Modern. So, give her a ruined Stepmom. So far, I really like what I've seen. Alright, so let's get to our first land that really intrigues me, and that is Hall of Helioid's Generosity. This is a legendary land. It does have tap to make it colorless, and then it has an ability where you can tap it and pay 1 colorless, 1 white, put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. So, absolutely powerful card when you think about it in Commander, when you think about it in Modern with Boggles, which is one of my favorite decks right now. I've already bought a copy of it to put into the deck. Love this card. One of the biggest pluses to me is the fact that it doesn't come in tapped. If it came in tapped, this card would lose a lot of its momentum right away. The legendary piece is a little rough. Whatever. I think this is absolutely great. Way to go on this one. This is probably my favorite land from the set. So, Hall of Helioid's Generosity, I believe it's floating around like $5 or $6 right now. I would pick it up if you have not gotten a copy already. Well, everybody's talking about this card, so I have to talk about this card. Hogak, Arisen, Necropolis. This is 5 colorless and then 2 hybrid swamp or forest. Legendary avatar. I actually have it up on the screen here so I didn't mess it up. You can't spend mana to cast this spell. It does have Convoke and Delve, and then you can cast it from your graveyard. It has Trample, it's an 8/8. We've already seen it hit the Modern format, we're already seeing it hit the Commander format. Just a unique card, and I don't care about it in the formats. That's not what drew it to me, but you're already seeing Impact. What drew this card, what drew me to this card, or what's made me interested in it is, it's just got so much going on, and it's just so weird. There's not cards like it out there. That's always something that I find fun, is how unique is the card itself. Hogak, Arisen, Necropolis, under $10 right now as of the filming of this video. Definitely keep an eye on it because I think it's going to be a very popular card from this set for a long time. Alright, well, if you have watched any of my videos before, you know that cards that have the ability to end the game. Now, I'm not talking about combo off, I'm talking about they say you win or lose the game. Those are always really interesting to me. So Mirrodin Besiege is gonna definitely be a little bit of a trick that we want to try and work into the trade. 2 colorless, 1 blue. It's an enchantment, and again, I'm gonna read it off the screen here so I don't mess it up. As it enters the battlefield, you choose Mirian or Phyrexian. If you choose Mirian, whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact token, and whenever you let me try that again. And if you choose Phyrexian, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card, then discard a card. Then, if there are 15 or more artifact cards in your graveyard, target opponent loses the game. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. This is going to go into a lot of color blue artifact decks that it's going to be really tough to deal with. I understand it's an enchantment. I understand, kind of what's going on here with it, but this is actually one of my sleepers for one of the cards that over time is going to be one of the best cards of this set. I think the fact that you have the ability to, it's not legendary either, so you could stack these if you were playing in a format that's not Commander. And I've been wrong before, but this feels like the sleeper card of the set because of the lands, because of Stepmom, because of the Sliver, Urza, all these other things. This card, I believe, is going to be undervalued and under the radar for quite some time. So I think of this filming of this video, $3 to $4, I believe, is what we're looking at. So Mirrodin Besiege is going to be a real deal. Shocker, we are going to talk about the goblins in this set. Pashlik Mond is going to be 2 colorless and a red for a legendary goblin warrior. Whenever it or another goblin you control dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And then it has that Goblin, what was it, like Goblin Warrens or something like Goblin Cavern, some crap like that. For 3 colorless and a red, sacrifice a Goblin and create 2 Goblin tokens in response. How do we put lightly the amount of excitement that we have about all the Goblins going on in Modern Horizons? I don't know if we can, people. Too excited. Goblins are back. I don't care what you say. Modern and Standard is seeing Goblin decks come up. Some of the older cards for Modern, like Andy's Hovel or whatever that is flowing through the roof in value. I mean, just, Goblins are back. That is what you need to know. Cards like this are going to make them incredibly difficult to deal with. If you have the ability to build a Goblin deck, now is the time. It's one of the best times in Magic to have it because of all the fun stuff that's going on. Goblin Ringleader is going to be in Standard and Modern. Just saying. Like, they're printing it in M20, but Pashlik Mons, absolutely crazy. Love the return of the Goblins. And really, a lot of the ones that have drawn my attention are 3 and 4 drops. That's pretty awesome. You think about it, Goblins, you're known for the 1 and 2 drops, occasionally the 3 drop lords. This is a lord that does something different. I really like this. You know there's going to have to be some hype on Goblins from this channel, and here you go. Segovian Angel. It's just a 1 drop, 1/1 flying vigilance angel, but I thought it was unique because now angels have something that they can play on turn 1, along with other, easy 1 drops, but this is an actual angel within the tribe. I thought it was really cool, really unique, and I'm always looking at commons. Obviously with the Pauper updates recently, you can see that commons are going to have a little bit more value to their to what they bring. So Segovian Angel, nothing real special about it, just wanted to point it out. Here's another common that I'm really excited about, Shenanigans. 1 colorless, 1 red sorcery. You can destroy target artifact, but it's that second ability. It's the Dredge 1. This is going to go really good in Dredge decks that run that, or even Loam decks could find some use for this. It's going to be interesting to see what happens long term, but I thought for a common, Shatter costs 2 as it is to destroy target artifact. I don't really think there's many cards like this that Dredge can throw in, so I thought it was pretty cool. Alright, and then last but not least is Sling Gang Lieutenant. So yes, another Goblin, what do you know? 3 colorless, 1 black. It is a Goblin that it has, when it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red Goblin tokens, and then just as an ability that you don't have to pay into, sacrifice a Goblin, target player loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. So let me explain the impact of this card. This is one of the most important Goblin cards we have gotten in a long time. Probably ever, actually. You now have a Goblin that has a static ability that you can sacrifice a Goblin through and you can gain life. There are no good Goblin related spells that allow you to do that. And at 4 for the converted mana cost, this is absolutely within range. Sling Gang Lieutenant, I believe, is going to find a home in black-red modern Goblins, and it's going to be one of the cards that's going to arc Goblins possibly into a higher tier. I'm not saying that they're tier 1 right now by any means at all, and I don't know if this will go into Legacy yet. It's too soon to tell. But this card, in my opinion, is one of the most important cards to the success of the Goblin tribe in the modern format moving forward. And that sounds really weird to say, I understand that, but just think about it, do a little research. There's not many Goblins or even black-red spells that work with that synergy that are going to give you that gain life ability. This changes a lot, so absolutely hyped on it. They did a lot with Goblins in this set. There's other cards I could have looked at, but this is definitely one of the big ones for me. So there you go. Modern Horizons is going to be really fun. I've been buying the blister packs, the 3-pack draft packs from department stores, and actually for this week's Crack-A-Pack I thought it would be fun to do one of those. So let's go ahead and shift over to Crack Pack. Alright, well, let's do a Crack Pack. You see here we got good old Modern Horizons. Figure we do a blister. Struggling here a little bit. And here we go. Hopefully everyone is getting some good cards. Like I said, there's a lot of cards in this set that I really like. I like to throw trash all over, as you can tell. Okay. And let's do it. Pack one. I'm struggling with this pack early on. I like the art cards in these. Let's see what we get. So, am I supposed to go backwards? I don't remember. Let's do it like this. Official warrior. But yeah, no, so overall, I thought this was a really cool set. Nothing to really complain about. We're getting to the uncommons. Here we go. You guys are birthing bows. I'm really excited about these talismans coming back. I think it's like the second or third one I've gotten of the Simic colors. Ooh, is that an Endling? Is that the Endling? Not bad. Got us a little shelter from the storm. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright, let's go second pack. Summer sets are really what's up when it comes to Magic. I mean, they're really becoming the thing. So we know we're getting an illusion token. I like this guy, the Changeling Outcast. If you can tell me that at one drop that, I don't care if he can block or not, make sure you can get a good view of that. But he was a Changeling, bro. Goes in any creature deck. Ooh. Again, I know it's only a common, but that's still a good card. Shenanigans. Alright, here we go. It's a good old Defile. Squirrel Nest. Tribute Mage, Feast Our Souls, and here we go. Oh, another land. I've been pulling these lands like it's crack cocaine. No complaints at all. No complaints at all. Let's see what this guy does here. What do we got? Feaster of Fools. 4 colorless, 2 black. It's got Convoke, Flying, Devour 2, and it's a 3/3 Flying Demon. Okay. I'll take it. It's always funny when Magic players say, I'll take it. They don't really get a choice once you open the pack. Alright. Pull a foil soldier token. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's go and get right through to the juice. Slivers in the comeback soup. Face of Divinity. The old Blossoms. And then the Cordial Vampire. Alright. Not bad. Oh, nice art on that one. Did you check out the arms on that one? But yeah, there you go, guys. So, I don't know what the Cordial is sitting at. I'm hoping the Endling is still worth something. In the old Nurture and Peatland. So, that's really our 3 rares. Show you guys one more time. Cordial Vampire, Endling, Nurturing Peatland. Modern Horizons, man. I'm loving it so far. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, go and put your hands together for our weakest act of the night. Here with Dad Jokes, it's Tony K from Urban Girl Scout Media. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Quiet crowd tonight. No applause needed, I guess. So, I'm here to tell some dad jokes to close out this episode of Living the Dream. Hope you at home have enjoyed this episode. Let's do it. Don't think this is on or plugged in. That was not one of my jokes. Alright. So here we go. I got them saved here. Did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's alright now. Alright. Next one. My wife told me to take the spider out instead of killing it. We had some drinks. He's a pretty cool guy. We might go out again. Alright, here we go. Did you know that protons have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic. Crowd, calm down. Alright, well we got a few more here. Maybe we'll wing you back. I don't trust the stairs. They're always up to something. A slice of apple pie in Jamaica costs $2.50. And in the Bahamas, it costs $3. These are pirates of the Caribbean. Whoever invented the knock-knock joke deserves a Nobel Prize. Alright, well you guys have been a great audience and I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching this episode and we'll see you next time.